Okay, welcome everyone to 600 Pounds Down podcast. It's me, Coach Justin, along with my partner in crime,
Coach George.
Coach George. What, what's
So
with the what's with the action thing that you did there? What did you just do?
I have been up since 4 a.m. This was a 4 a.m. morning workout. And what time is that? 7:30. It is 7:30. And so I've actually been trying to cut back on caffeine a little bit because I'm trying to get more quality sleep. So I only have my morning coffee and then no more caffeine. And I finished my morning coffee at 8 a.m. this morning. So
Wow.
that's where we are. So I am
Wow.
alert and
You
awake. I'm here. And I will say, Jay, you look a little different tonight.
you calling me fat?
Look,
What are you saying? What are you saying?
I know 5 fat people, and you're 4 of them. All right, so
I hurt my last feeling, George.
that
So
was a meme. That was a meme. I didn't mean it. That was a joke.
that was kind of
Joking.
mean, though. It was a mean meme. So I'll tell you why I look different tonight.
Yes.
We're actually planning to talk about this. I'm going to plan to talk about this. So George segued me in, which is great. Can't even hide anything. So last night we're finishing up the January reset, right? It's our free premium program that we're utilizing and we're doing well. And all of a sudden, the final evening of the Zoom meeting that we have with the attendees, I'm listening to George talk. All of a sudden, blip, everything goes black. I didn't die. My Mac died. My iMac died. So I'm like, what's going on? So I looked and I tried to reset it. I tried to do all the hard reset stuff. I unplugged it, plugged it back in. I did 12 Hail Marys over it. I did whatever I could to make it work, and it wasn't working, George. And so it's a process, man. Now I had to find my laptop, which I don't bust out unless I'm out of town. And the quality of the laptop is not that good. And the camera I have, it's called HD camera. Doesn't even look HD to me. So now we have a different computer. The sound is not that good. I'm complaining right now. This is what I'm doing. The sound is not that good. The image is not that good. I can't even hear what you're saying to me. I'm trying hard to tune in and hear you. So I'm going to do my best tonight, but best believe I'm going to try to get this thing done and fix this iMac, whatever it is. I'm going to have to do something. And it's a process to get it fixed because I'm thinking, is it the charger, the adapter? And guess what? You got to take it to the Apple store and you got to search online, and the adapter costs $150 to $200 some dollars. I'm like, what? So I'm going to make an appointment to Apple. I'm going to go. They're going to try to sell me something. I get it. And then we're going to try to take it from there. But I am a little sad about it. Just saying.
So when you went off, so it took me 5 minutes to figure out that you weren't there. So I'm just talking. And what were we talking about? I think we were talking about postmenopause and how we shouldn't intermittent fast during postmenopause and hormone levels and all that. And then you know what I said? Coach Justin, you have anything else to add? I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there.
I just got to say, we're in a room with a bunch of women. As George is left by himself.
Yes. This was they were all women who were postmenopausal. So we were talking about hormone levels and all that. So it's not just, we don't just sit around talking about menopause all the time. That's just not, we don't do that for fun. This was educational. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Coach Justin, you have anything to add? And there's utter silence. And then what do I say? I say, well, I guess I'm going to keep talking.
Well, all the ladies are just watching you. What's he gonna say next with the eye? Because they're not all gonna agree with what you're saying. So
yeah, seriously. So that's just what you get with technology. Sometimes, I mean, I've had my own snafus with technology. I have a winter weather effect right now, and I live in rural Casadega, and which is farm country. I got a field over there, and back there. So, I'm hoping and praying that we don't get disconnect and whatnot, but that's what you get with Alive. You live dangerously, and yeah, we do. And you know what? You only live once, so let's go live.
It's character development, my man. It helps you overcome your fears. It helps you try to hey, you know what? Whatever happens. I'm going to adapt to it. And you really have to adapt on the fly. Think about it. It's it doesn't come easy.
So do you I guess I have an update. So I do have a client I'm working with. He's doing really great. I got to brag on him a little bit. If he's watching this, he's gonna hear this. He forgot to make his lunch last night, and he was on the go, and he had to figure something out really quick. and really hungry and whatnot. And so he tells me, yeah, I went to Chick-fil-A and I got two 12-count grilled nuggets. And I'm like, you know what, man? If you had to like go and grab something, that would be the thing. Each 12-pack nuggets has 38 grams of protein, and it's only like 200 and something calories per 12 pack. I mean, the grilled nuggets, if you had to grab something, that's a great thing to grab. And he used to do a lot of gas station stuff, grab and goes and whatnot. So I'm like, you know what? If you had to grab something, that is a phenomenal choice. The macros were good. The protein was good. The calories were good. We're not doing this all the time. Had to do it in a pinch. But, that's some serious growth on his end. I'm super proud of him for that. Dude is just absolutely crushing it. And which is actually encouraging me to kind of do something a little bit more difficult. A lot of what I've been doing right now is I've been trying to gain muscle because that's something that I don't know if you know this, Justin, I lack muscle. So I'm trying to get some more of it. And
really?
But I'm actually entering my fat loss phase. I wouldn't mind losing some body fat, kind of seeing what's under the hood, so to speak. And, really challenging myself a little bit. So I've cut back on my calories a little bit too, about 300. I cut back about 300 calories this week per day. So trying to get used to that a little bit. I'm not, I think I've done this long enough where I can kind of understand, when I'm really hungry, when I'm bored, and when I'm thirsty. So I can kind of make those differentials. But yeah, it's kind of getting used to the cutting calories, if you will, a little bit, and energy levels and whatnot. But dude, I was, you know what I think I did today? I think I accidentally flushed out my system. I don't think I was getting enough sodium and electrolytes. I think I flushed my system out. So I was hammering. This was after I had my water, and I'm staying within my calories. I was hammering primes.
I thought you were going to take the salt and just like, just like hammer the salt down.
We sell primes where I work. And so I hammered like 4 bottles of primes, just trying to get those electrolytes in. And so after 4 bottles of prime and 3 cups of cottage cheese, I think I finally got where I needed to be.
Now Logan Paul is saying, "Hey, I want to have 600 pounds down. Sponsor Prime." I think that's what he's.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
well, I'm game for it. You want to do it? I'll call him.
I mean, I don't really enjoy the sucralose in this stuff. So hey, if you're listening right now, like throw that out. If you have sucralose in this stuff, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, okay. Beggars can't be choosers.
That's right. That's right. I'll tell you what. I mean, you're a guy that you're training there. I feel like you're one of those drill sergeants, though. If like he forgot to pack his lunch, you're gonna make him do like 100 push-ups. Am I wrong?
Only if he does it twice.
Got it. Watch out, bro. All right. We have an amazing guest tonight.
We do.
And I say that
I'm
excited
about this.
But I really do think our guests are amazing. And I've been watching Erin over social media and just following her story and just being like, wow, this lady, this person, she is in the gym nonstop. Like she is one of these people that just goes and does her thing and just keeps improving. I know last episode we had Sabrina on and she kind of does the same thing. So these two are very similar in the fact how they're progressing in their goals. And I just thought it would be a really good idea to have Erin on to really just share her journey and her story. I think 729 days into the gym without stopping yet.
That's what I saw in her story today. Yeah.
I don't know. If it's 7:30, she'll correct us. I know that. So we'll find out. But we're going to have her on next, and she's going to be talking about her journey, what she's gone through. And it's going to be, hopefully, it's going to be encouraging and motivational to you who are listening tonight and those listening to the replay via Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. She has a great story worth listening to. So if you want to be inspired, if you want to be someone who hears something that's going to challenge you to go next level, this is a pod episode for you. George, you ready for it?
I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right. Erin Ziemba. Ziemba? I think I said it right. I did it. Yes. Okay. Up next here on 600 Pounds Down podcast. right. Welcome everyone to 600 Pounds Down podcast. And we have our friend Erin with us tonight. Hey Erin, how you doing?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Well, we are awesome. Well, I can't answer for George. I think I'm doing awesome. George, I hope you're doing awesome.
I'm always doing awesome.
Yeah, George is on awesome sauce. George is awesome sauce right now. Very good. Very good. Erin, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? All the things.
So I live outside of Jamestown. I am a car sales consultant. I work a ton. I have three boys, three sons. And so watching them grow up has been a lot of fun. And definitely love to work out.
We could tell. We could tell because you're thinking about it every day. We see it.
Every day.
That's good.
And
That's
that's just my accountability thing. Like that is like part of what keeps me accountable to like what I'm doing.
yeah. Well, I get that. I get that. I think that's something George and I both do. I think
Yeah.
we try hard to hold ourselves accountable by going. I know there's days where
Hmm.
I don't go and I feel a little antsy. I'm allowed to have a day off here and there. I feel okay with that. But
Yeah.
once I'm out a couple days, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is kind of crazy, you know?
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
know I know one thing that I struggled with when I started posting was I knew I was gonna get the, are you just looking for attention? Are you just doing this because you want everyone to see what you're doing? And I had a lot of conversations actually with Justin in the beginning because at some point you're going to be able to help someone with your consistency. Yes, it's for
Right.
accountability. And
Yeah.
accountability is great because honestly, without accountability, I don't think any of us are going to be where we currently are. I mean, we most certainly wouldn't be going to the gym as much as we do without the accountability. There are people in our lives that, say, "Hey, did you get there today? Hey, did you get there today?" And one of your good friends actually owns the gym that we go to. So, that's great
Yeah.
accountability. And
Hmm.
I think a lot of the times when we start posting, we need to almost get comfortable with it, only because it can help someone. I actually got the client that I have because they listened to this podcast, which I was really shocked about because I don't. I'm really glad the podcast is helping, and I'm really glad that we're doing this. I do believe in it. I am very insecure about my own self in a lot of ways, and that kind of shines through a little bit in my interactions with people at the gym and when I talk about 600 pounds down. Not because of anything I'm not proud of, but because I'm that personally insecure where I don't think that what I do impacts people as much as it actually does. So when you post, Erin, when you post your stuff on your story, I mean, you're posting every day. I mean, we're counting up, right? 729. Was I right? 729.
Yeah. Yep. So
Okay,
tomorrow is 7:30, which is 2 years.
it's crazy. That's crazy. That's awesome. So
It's wild.
what made you start doing that? So go take us all the way back to day one. So tell
Um,
us, why was there a day one?
so it was because I realized I needed a change. Like I was very fit at one point and then I wasn't. And I just saw like I wasn't comfortable looking at myself in the mirror. Um like I just felt like I wasn't the person I remembered myself being. And I had a home gym at the time. Like I like through COVID got, like a whole like actual gym set up. But it's so easy like when you have that at home to not use it like you should. And so I decided like listen, like what worked for me before was to have a gym, to go to the gym, and that's the only thing you can focus on. Like when you go to the gym, like what else are you going to do? You're going to like work out, you know? And also like it was part of like the 75 hard. Like I was like what if I did that, like just worked out every day, like I stopped drinking every day, like And it was like, what if I could just keep doing it, like day after day after day? And that's all you can really ask of yourself. And it got to the point where it was like, what if I do 90 days? What if I do, like a year? And then it just kept going.
Yeah. I remember you saying something in because I was asking you a little bit about what direction should we talk about, right? And you were talking about in the message that we talked on. You were saying something along the lines of you were determined to just try 90 days, but when the first day you
Right.
walked in, you didn't recognize yourself and you didn't like who you were. Can you tell us more
Oh,
about
I
that?
didn't. Yeah. So, like, it like leading up to that, like I didn't like seeing myself in pictures. Like it was like I didn't want anybody taking pictures of me. And then like when I decided to go to the gym, like of course there's like mirrors everywhere. Like you can't look in any direction, there not be a mirror. And I walked in there and I'm like, I can't even look at the person that's in the mirror right now because that's not who I remembered being in the gym. But I'm like, you know what? One of these days, like if I just keep going, and it's gotten there. Like I've seen the difference, and posting like taking pictures every day like can only motivate you. And but you have to get past that like first like when like I felt like I reached rock bottom, where I was like, this is not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you start with when you started going into the gym? Like, what were some of your first
So I had like when I first got fit, like it was always like weightlifting. So I always had like a chest day, shoulder day, like some cardio. And when I first started getting back into like getting myself back, it was just getting those basics back, like strength training, because I feel like that's important. Like I am 43 years old, hard to believe, I know.
I
But
was gonna say
um
29.
thank you. So I'm 43, and like every year, like from the research I've seen anyway, we lose 1% of our lean muscle every year. And in order to combat that, we have to like strength train. So that is like my main focus is strength training. And so that's basically like where I started back is just the basics.
Yeah.
I
George,
I Yeah, I
you-
really wish, and I love that you do this, and I want more women to do this. So, Justin, just to give you kind of like the essence of our gym, because I go to the same gym Aaron goes to, it is
Mhm.
definitely a lifter's gym.
Yes.
There's enough cardio for cutting season. Other than other than that, it's a lifting gym. And a lot. Even this morning, even when I went this morning, you are going to see both men and women lifting. I mean, they're going to be
Mhm.
lifting, and I wish women would post more of them weight training because I totally agree with you, Aaron. I think that weight training has an abundance of benefits, does so much for your longevity. The more muscle you have in your frame, the more healthy you're going to be. And I think there's this stigma, although I think we are getting out of it now. I think the stigma is
Yes.
starting to end. But women's like, oh, I don't want to get bulky. I'm like, I wish that was a problem. Like, I wish,
Women are
yeah.
not going to get bulky.
Well, I didn't know if you knew there's an epidemic of women picking up 10-pound dumbbells and turning into Ronnie Coleman. It's everywhere. But I would love to see more women like you, Sabrina, and other women at the gym. Just like, hey, I'm weight training, and let me tell
Right.
you what, some of these women are strong, man.
yeah.
Like they're lifting
We'll
some
talk about
serious
that.
weight. And I mean, Sabrina just did 205 deadlift, right?
Yeah.
She just posted that. And I mean, Aaron, because we were talking about this, and I'll share some more of my inadequacies so that other people can gawk at it. So I remember the first time I saw Aaron doing pull-ups in the gym. It was like probably like 5 a.m. workout. I think that was
Yes.
it was a 5 a.m. workout, yeah. And So I just wanted to walk over like that because I don't know if people know this. That is hard. Like
It's really
doing
hard.
8. I mean, you did 8 pull-ups clean. Okay, I can do
Yes.
2, maybe a third one if I'm kicking my feet. And I don't think people understand how hard that actually is. And dude, because I'm gonna brag on Erin for a minute. She was repping them out like 1, 2, 3, just clean pull-ups. And I just had to go up and just say, hey, I just want to let you know because I understand how hard that is. So I'm gonna congratulate you now for what you just did because I understand how incredibly difficult that is. And really just I made a gym friend. Uh, but but yeah, I think it's incredible. I think it's incredible that you lift. I love that you lift. I wish more women would lift because I think a lot of the things that happen to women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s can be either mitigated or totally avoided if we can just even if you started weight training in your 40s. If you weight train
Hmm.
in your 40s and that's when you
Yep.
started, I think you can mitigate a lot of things. So I just want to brag on you. I want to say that out loud. If you're a woman and you lift, post it, get it out there, let other women know it's okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
100%.
That's good. Yeah, I think I do think the culture is shifting, like you were saying, George. I do think there's something happening in the health and wellness field that I think lifting weights, getting stronger is starting to capture more attention. I feel like there's a stigma in the older generations that think that cardio is the only answer. And I am Mr. Like I before we got on the podcast and I went to Planet Fitness, I was still working. I was using my phone to answer emails and I was just on the bike and I was just doing some interval sprints on there because there is something about moving my body that helps me feel more, I guess, helps me sleep better, helps me have less anxiety, all the things like that. But there's a place for it. I really do believe that. But there's also a really significant place for resistance training, some form of body exercises, body weight training, something that's going to challenge the muscle to work, to get the blood flow to it, to build, to break down, to rebuild. All those things are important. In fact, when you do resistance training or any form of weightlifting, you're breaking down the muscle fibers in that particular muscle you're using, right? And people think that, oh, I'm going to get stronger in the gym. Well, it doesn't really happen there. It happens with the recipe of work it, fuel it, rest it, repeat, right? That's
Yes.
how it starts to repair. That's how you start getting stronger. And that's how you start toning up or putting on some size. And let me tell you, there is something about that. And where I was going with that is this, like, people are people are afraid to resistance train because they don't feel like that's going to burn fat. They don't feel like that's going to produce results. It's not moving the scale, and people get kind of bogged down by that. And what I find amazing, and I think Sabrina shared this last week, she didn't lose any weight for what, 3 months, but she
Yeah.
lost X amount of inches. Like,
8 inches.
yeah.
It was 8. I remember that. You lose 8 inches and not a pound. You want to talk about body recomposition. That is some of the best recomp I have ever personally heard.
Yeah,
Losing 8 inches with no weight going down on the scale, it's incredible.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Well, and when you weight train, there's something called the afterburn effect that only happens in resistance training that doesn't happen in cardio. In cardio, when you're done doing cardio, you're done burning calories. But if you weight train and resistance train and you get done with a workout, there's something called the afterburn effect where your body for a certain amount of time is still going to burn even when you're done. That is why it's important to, if you can, get some protein in you so that you can really start helping rebuilding your broken down muscles. But Erin, I want to talk to you about motivation. Motivation for me, consistency for me personally is something that's really huge. I think it instills a lot of moral integrity in decision making. And so it is January. We live in New York and it's cold outside. So, what are some things that you tell yourself when you get up and do that early 5 a.m. workout? What are some things that get you out of bed, into the gym, and training?
So it's not to me always motivation. It is having consistency in my routine. I feel like if you have the routine of picking out your workout clothes, having your meal plans like prepped and ready to go, like you can lack the motivation, but still like have the routine of like your feet hitting the floor. You're gonna go out and you're gonna clean off your car. You're gonna slide through Jamestown.
That's right.
It is not motivation 100% of the time. Like, I am not motivated. Like, I am actually the opposite. But it's the fact that, like, getting there and having like a consistency, but you have to prepare yourself. Like, it has to be like, if my gym bag wasn't packed like the day before, or my meals weren't prepped, like it would be a lot harder. Like you have to get to bed, you have to like have a routine planned, I feel, in order to make it all work, you know?
Absolutely. Do you have people in your life that you can count on too? Like if you had to text someone or call someone, do you have those people in your life that'll just be like, "Hey, listen, girl, we got to get this thing done. We got to do this thing." Do you have anyone in
Just
your
you,
life that can do
George. No, so like since I've been posting every day, like there has been like, I don't know, it's not like, like a real community, but there's like people that I know if I don't like post that day that I'm going to the gym, that they're gonna be like, "What happened to you?" Or like if I post like today was my day off, like I didn't go till like 11. So I had a couple people like message me first thing in the morning and they're like, You're late today," or whatever. And it's kind of nice that there's like those people that, like you feel like you're gonna disappoint if you don't go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And we should have a community behind us with anything we do.
Hmm.
We should, because it keeps us motivated and grounded to keep doing those things.
motivate?
So, um, I heard some echo there. I'm not sure what's happening on my end.
That's you.
Okay. So I would say that if you don't have, oh, George disconnected. There could be a problem
Where'd he
there.
go?
George left. Oh no.
Come back.
Sometimes he has struggles with the internet where he's at because it's the
Aw.
snowstorm and everything, but we're good. We can talk about this. It's all right. That's why we have two people on. So he'll be back. But it's important to have a community behind you because it really just gives you some that encouragement. It gives people behind you to rally across, people like-minded makes a big difference.
Yes. Mhm.
So Erin, I wanna go on the topic right now. Because I'm going back to what we talked about over Messenger, just so we're aware, and I want to keep on that somewhat. But you were talking about that essence. You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but that commitment level to show up, to do your thing.
Mhm.
Now, when you go back to who you were back in the day, were you lacking commitment on yourself? And what changed from that season
Oh,
previously
yeah.
where and to now? Like, how did you get that then, or how did you not have it then, but now you have it?
Mhm. So, I feel like it was just a realization of that I wasn't putting forth like a ton of effort. Like having a home gym was great. Like ideally, like it could have worked out, but like, you're like, oh, like I'm just gonna like unload the dishwasher in between this set, or, like, but when you go to a gym, you see the people around you that are working and you can't help but like try to put forth like some effort. Also, like it's just, I mean, you have to commit to yourself like that you want to make a change in your life. Like
Mm.
that was ultimately like I wasn't happy with who I was. I knew who I could be, and I'm not back to where I want to be yet, but I know if I keep working towards it, keep doing the right things, like that eventually, like I'll get closer, you know.
Yeah.
But we have to keep doing the right things, and it's, not because it's easy, but because it's where, the habits we have to create.
Yeah, I wish they came easy. I wish it was because it's nothing that we do. Starting a new job, having a new endeavor in life,
Mhm.
getting married, having kids, no matter what, getting a new car, everything requires some form of adaptation and some form of commitment to get to learn it and to get to navigate this in such a way that's going to change your life. I've always had this, well, recently have discovered, I should say, as I dive deeper into the topic of transformation. I don't truly believe that diet plans and workout plans work as the primary source of what you go to for change. It has to be, let me change my mind first, and then
Yes.
those things start to work, which is interesting because that's why there's no one size fits all for people. That there's a
Yeah.
adaptation that has to take place, and whatever works good for you and you can stick with it long term, then you got something going on that's good. And you can always build upon that as time goes. I mean, I remember cutting sugar out of my diet long, 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 long time ago. And I went, and this wasn't the best thing, but I took like normal sodas and went to diet sodas like Pepsi and Diet Pepsi
Mhm.
and Diet Coke. Now, I would look at that today and say that's not the best for you because that's sucralose, that's aspartame. Like let's not go that direction because there's been some link to other things with that. And that's me personally. But back then, my transformation looked like me cutting back on one thing and going to something else and then cutting off of that later in life. But it took work. It took a mind shift. It took a mindset shift to get me to that place. And now I can easily say, I don't touch sugar very often at all. I don't touch artificial sweeteners often at all. And if I do, it's very rare and I have control over it. So it's kind of like that new endeavor I took to get sugar out of my life. So I like what you're saying about a mental shift because you have to own your journey. This isn't
Mhm.
George's journey. It's not my journey. This is your journey. And you have to identify, I need to do this because I want to see results. If you keep banging your head against the wall, you're going to get a headache or pass out. It's not going to break through unless you go hard, right? So that's what you have to do. So I'm really encouraged that you spoke about that because you made your mind up and look at the result from that.
And it's different for everybody.
Mhm.
Like, my schedule is not like anybody else's. Like, you have to figure out, like, what is gonna work for you. Like, what works for me is showing up early. It's, packing my bag the night before, but that may not be for everybody. Like, it may be an after work workout or, you know, like, you know, it's everybody has their own journey, but you have to figure out like what you can change in your habits long term. Like it can't just be temporary because like if it's just temporary, like you can't stick with it, you know.
And I think that's what happens a lot of the time in January is people like to do a total overhaul. They
Mhm.
like to do. I'm gonna change my diet completely. I'm gonna start working out 5 days a week when I was working out none before. I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. on all 5 days. And something that I always tell people too is start slow
Yeah.
and make sure you can build because you're not just you don't want to have a phase. You want to build a life.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
in order to build a life, you need to start with the foundation, the groundwork, your mind. Then you start with, okay, what can I fit in my day? Let's start with 2 workouts a week. Well, how about this? Let's start with changing my diet for the first 2 weeks, getting used to the food, getting used to eating differently, and then we'll go to the gym 2 days a week. And then when I start getting comfortable going 2 days a week, then I'll go 3 days a week and maybe 4 days a week. And that way, when I start seeing progress, that there's gonna be your motivational nuggets throughout the way. You're gonna
Mhm.
hit a certain weight lifted. You're gonna get lose a couple inches on your waist. Your arms or legs might start to get a little bit bigger because of the lifting, and you're like, okay, so I'm seeing results. That's good. It's gonna have that short term motivational stick, but at the same time, those are going to come and go. But if you change your mind to, I get to do these things instead of I have to do these things, game changer.
Yeah.
It will change the game for you. So my biggest thing, and this is Justin's biggest thing, and Erin, you did this too. It's what do I get to do, not what do I have to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's good. And Erin, so we look at your life and we look at your commitment to what you're doing here with your journey, how you're doing things. What's a daily life look like for you? I mean, you want to take us through the routine? I mean, I know you said you get up early, do your thing, you set you get your clothes ready, you get probably your meals ready and things like that. Like so tell us about your results thus far. Like tell me what happened over the course of 2 years of commitment and determination to yourself. You're doing this thing. What are your results and how did you get there? What are you consuming? What are you doing for activity? Kind of give us a guideline on what works for you. So maybe others who are listening, they can say, I might want to try some of that. Can you give us a clue on what you do and what your results were?
So, in the beginning, I knew like showing up, doing probably a 60-minute workout and meal prepping, that's super important. Like you have to focus on what you're putting in your body. So I was like trying to focus on that. And over the course of time, like I've kind of honed in, like car sales is like a lot of hours. So trying to simplify because I know where I break down is like if I can't have my meals prepped and ready to go, like that's where kind of things fall apart. So there are places like lately I've been going to like the meals to go. It's in Faulkner and I think there's one in Olean. But like if you know what your macros need to be, like how much protein, carbs, and whatever, you can walk in there and you can pick out the meals that you need for the week and you don't even have to think about it.
Mhm.
But my routine is in the evening when I get home, whether like I get done at work at 6 or whether I get done at work at 8, is to pack my gym bag, like that is ready to go, have my work clothes picked out, and I know what I'm eating for the next day. Like I use my macros app when I plan on what I'm eating for the next day, like that is in there the day before. And that is what I try to stick to. And it may vary a little bit, but that is what my goal is at least, you know. And I use gym apps so I knew like what my routine is going to be, like what my goals were last week and try to like at least hit the same weight or even more, you know. But I feel like tracking everything is key.
Okay. And let me ask you a question on the tracking. How much protein are you consuming on a daily basis matched with your activity? Now, I know this is a question that's not a rounded off answer for every single person. I mean, it depends on the goals, right? Depends on
Hmm.
your calorie expenditure. It depends on your workout. It depends, all the things are factored in. This is why it's good to have coaching or a trainer if you want to need help with that. But what's your protein content for today and how do you get that in?
My goal is between 130 and 150 grams of protein a day. If I plan on having like a heavier lift, I allow myself more carbs like the night before or even like right after the workout. But I try to like keep 130, 150 grams of carbs, 130 grams, 150 grams of protein a day.
You said something, and George, I'm going to get to you. I know I'm hogging the conversation.
No,
But
you're good. Keep going.
I'm interested. This is good because I want to talk about this. You're talking about protein, but now you just brought in carbohydrates, and now
Mhm.
the keto world, gonna fall on their face. The low carbers are gonna, and the carnivore people are gonna say no. They're gonna shake and start
Oh,
Tourette's
I've
and
done
everything.
carnivore. I love
Yeah,
carnivore. Like
yeah.
it can work.
But
Like
what about carbohydrates?
so you can fuel yourself on just meats and fats
Yeah.
and but it's your body is going to transition. Like you go through like the carb withdrawals but it's what's going to work best for you. Like I personally like can't see like living as a vegan, like just off of vegetables. But I have done the carnivore where it's just meats and fats, and I did well off of that, but it is a hard, like you have like really hard carb withdrawals. But right now, what works best for me is like a moderate amount of carbs, like a high protein. Like I try not to have a ton of fats, but kind of just tracking what you eat. And I feel like it's really important to track because you really don't know what you're taking in every day
Yeah.
unless you like put it down on paper or you have an app, because you like can so easily have like a little snack, something out of the vending machine, and that just like we all sweep it under the carpet like it just didn't happen.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and it's like, if you eat it, it counts. Like that's kind of the name of the game.
It is.
You can wish you didn't do it, but that doesn't change the fact that you now got to count those calories.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
general rule, what I'm finding anyway, is that people like to overestimate their protein intake and they underestimate how many calories they're eating. That's
Hmm.
generally what I'm seeing. Like, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and there's protein in peanut butter. I mean, sure. Yeah. Like, oh, it's okay. I had a
Don't get
bologna and
me
cheese.
started.
I had a bologna and cheese sandwich. There's protein in bologna. Yeah, okay. It's processed pressed pig. That's what
Hmm.
bologna is. It's like, so people are. I mean, I do encourage people. I mean, I encourage people all the time. If you really want to know what you're eating, track it.
Yes.
I have my fitness pal, and I track all my food. And there are times where I'm like, really, that has that much fat in there, or man,
Hmm.
that's how high the carb count is in this. Wow, that's crazy. But what it helps to do, and you don't necessarily have to track forever. If you want to track forever, that's totally up to you. But I think what tracking allows, if you've done it for a certain amount of time, it allows this thing called intuitive eating. And if that's where
Right.
you kind of want to end up, so because you'll be able to look at something and say, that's probably how many calories it is. That's probably how many carbs are in that, because you have been tracking, because now you
Right.
know a little bit more and you know a little bit better. And so if you want to get to a place where you're like maintaining your weight, you're going in the gym and you're not gaining, but you're gaining good muscle and you're sitting at about 15% body fat, as a guy, maybe like 22 to 24% body fat as a woman, and you want to be kind of like, yeah, I'm just kind of going to the gym and doing my thing and I'm intuitive eating. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, go for it if that's what you want to do. I have certain goals. I know other people with certain goals, and tracking necessitates those goals, and so I track. And you have goals right now, so tracking necessitates that. So you're gonna track. Have you found um, have you found your like when you're eating, as far as like the carbohydrates go, what do you find that if you go any higher than that it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily feel good or anything? Is that why you keep the carbs on the lower end?
I don't keep them on the lower end. I think if I keep my proteins and my carbs on kind of the same level, I feel
Yeah.
good. But I do know that if I'm planning like a heavy leg day the next day, like I will do a heavy carbohydrate meal like the night before. I just
Hmm.
feel like it fuels that. Or like a quick burning carb on the way to the gym, kind of you have to get in tune to like what your body responds to. So like I've been doing like figs, which are like a good like
Fantastic.
carb before the gym, or like if I'm on the way, I have Rice Krispie treats like in my bag. Just something that's like gonna like fuel me.
Yeah, something that'll jumpstart everything, but that will burn off by the time you get done.
Right. Like I feel like people are like super scared of carbs or fats, but like if you pay attention to like good carbs or good fats or fast burning carbs or slow burning carbs, like you can really like hone in on what your body is going to respond to.
So I want to talk about the pull-ups.
Yes.
The pull-ups are amazing. The pull-ups are great. Best, it's kind of like, it's almost like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I know she's gonna post a picture about pull-ups.
We're doing
But
pull-ups tomorrow, George. You
we're doing
better be
pull-ups
there.
tomorrow. Oh, it's amazing. I just remembered that I don't go to
George
that. I
just
don't
pulled
go to
a
that gym anymore.
hand.
All right, I'll be there. What time? I'll probably be there a little before 5 o'clock. So you got to catch me though. You got to catch me, because if I scoot, that's your fault, not mine.
I'll give you a boost.
But you have been doing pull-ups, and I love it. I love the pull-ups. Tell us how the pull-ups, do you have goals right now that you've set for how many pull-ups you want to do, like in the near future, and then if you have any like future goals with that later on?
Yeah, so I wanted to get to 12 when I turned 43, which was in November. I didn't hit that. Because things come up, like I got sick and, you just like lose some, strength over that. So, I definitely like my next goal is to get to 12. Right now I can do a solid 8, like you've seen.
Mhm.
So
Solid,
we're
solid 8.
we're not cheating.
Shoot.
Uh, but I think it's like crazy. Like, I never thought in my 40s, like, that I'd be able to do as much as I'm doing now. And like, we discussed like stepping on a scale and tracking how much weight we've lost. But in complete transparency, I haven't been on a scale in 8 months. I
Mm.
know how my clothes fit. I know how strong I am. I take a picture of myself every day. I know how I look, and we've all gotten fluffy over like Christmas. But I know where I need to be, where I want to be. And I just like if you're just tracking a number on a scale, like I know like I want my strength numbers to go up in the gym, and I know how my clothes fit, and that is where I'm focusing like right now. Like I'm not gonna like look at a number on a scale at this point.
The two things. One, I really appreciate the fact that I'm not the only one that uses the word fluffy. Um,
We've all been there.
I immediately think of like that Ross and Joey from Friends. Like, I would rather not. I'm still carrying around a little holiday weight. Totally, totally understand that. Second of all, I love that you have numerous metrics other than the scale. Can I just
Mhm.
point that out? Because for a lot of people that listen to this, for a lot of people in our community, scale is God. And
Hmm.
if the scale is high, then there it is, and it just ruins the day, ruins our motivation. And I can't tell you how many times people have looked at the weight on the scale, not go down fast enough, not go up even, but not go down fast
Hmm.
enough, and they totally give up and they stop because it's just not worth it. They're putting in so much hard work for so little results that they just get burned out. And I love the fact that you have different metrics. I think those metrics, I think waist size, I think energy levels, strength in the gym, those would be my go-to metrics first. Because if you want to lose weight on the scale, hack off a limb, you'll lose weight on a scale. I
Right.
mean, if someone comes to me and they say, I want to lose 20 pounds, um, I want to point out, hold on, I want to do this. Zach Fisher, non-scale victories are important. Absolutely. Non-scale victories are absolutely important. That's right. Um, I think I don't even know where I was going with that. I totally lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're like Zach. I want to see Zach.
Zach, I want to show Zach on screen. But I think there are a lot of different metrics that you can take into account that are going to fit your goals. And if you wanted to lose weight on the scale, we could put you on a calorie deficit, not send you to the gym at all, and you could lose weight on the scale, but it's going to be one of the most unhealthy things for you. Um, total goal is strengthening the gym. And we want body recomp, right? I mean, we want body recomposition. That's not necessarily going to mean weight's going down the scale. Fat loss is not scale dependent. I'm going to say that one more time. Fat loss is not scale dependent.
George,
Okay.
I got to speak on that.
Go for it.
Because so as I'm come to befriend you more, co-host with you and everything, like, I mean, I'm transitioning. I still do cardio. I love it. I think it's great, but I have transitioned more into weights, and I've noticed that my weight has increased. Okay. So I was at, let me see. I think my lowest is like 203 recently, and then now up to like 210. And now my calorie intake has maybe 209. My calorie intake has not really, I mean, it's improved. It has gone up because I'm now consuming a little more protein and also a little more carbohydrate. But I put on weight. I get fluffy easily because I was used to a calorie deficit. I was used to really going down more on that. So I fluffed up, if you will, over the course of 3 months. And so I know not all of that's fat. Some of that's probably water, and some of that is probably muscle over 3 months. But I tell you what, it can mess with a guy, because when I see that, you see my text messages, I'm like, bro, what is happening to me? You know, like, you're like, dude, calm down. You're like a chick right now. But I just
he literally said to me, like, I went from 203.2 to 203.6. What is wrong with me?
But that was sad, right? It's like that's where it was. But you know, I'm in a place in my life where I know my body is restructuring. It's, you know, I'm shifting in my size. I'm getting fuller in areas from building the muscle. I'm losing fat in other areas, and I know there's things just going different. And there's going to be sometimes a temporary gain of some fluff. It's just part of it, right? And it's okay. Your body's adjusting, adapting. Doesn't mean I'm getting fat. It just means that my body's restructuring. And so I can't live by the approval of a scale. If I do that, I'm going to die by its rejection. And I can't do that because it's going to mess me up and the goals I have. So I thought this is a very interesting conversation, because when you don't see the scale, when you don't see what you want to see, it messes with you to the point where you say, screw this, I'm over it, and I'm done. Sabrina feels it. Like, she's saying it right there. I feel this because she knows, because she's in that category too, right? She talked about that last week where nothing moved, but she lost 8 inches. I mean, crying out loud, that's amazing. And I'm following suit with that. So I just wanted to share that because I could speak confidently on that topic, and it's amazing.
Well, you know how hard it is for people. I mean, Justin knows. We all know how hard it is for us who have been, you know, overweight. We are terrified of getting back to that. We are absolutely terrified of getting back to that. So for me to finally be okay with gaining weight, dude, that was a freaking journey. Let me tell you that. Like, it took me so long to be okay with that, because I was 185. You know, I'm 200 now. That's 15 pounds. I gained 15 pounds since September. But just like Erin, just like your metrics, my waist size stayed the same. Just got a little bit bigger. But my weight but my my waist size stayed the same. I actually, so Justin, so this is where the whole like metrosexual thing comes into play.
You're going there. Okay.
I had to buy new pants because my thighs I was wearing skinny jeans, and I couldn't fit in the skinny jeans anymore. My thighs wouldn't fit. And you know, if there was a while there for financial security, I was trying to make it work, but it just wasn't happening. And you know, you can't wear sweatpants all the time. And so I had to buy new pants. So I went from skinnies to slim fits. I'm at slim fits now, but the slim fits might as well be skinny jeans because my thighs have gotten freaking huge. But I had to be okay with gaining that weight. So gaining 15 pounds from September to now, a lot of that was muscle. And I was tracking my muscle on my frame. Most of it has been muscle, because I think what I ended up doing when you're in a calorie deficit for so long, and you are basically in starvation mode for so long, your body's starving for calories, right? It wants those calories. It wants that food. And if you just put that energy in the form of a gym workout and rest and sleep, a lot of that's going to be muscle. I think those are some of the most primed people for some solid muscle build. especially ex-athletes and ex-lifters who have been out of the gym for a while. I think they are primed for that. But yeah, I love that we have these metrics. I think that the scale, quite honestly, in my opinion, is at the near that bottom of the metrics that I want to use. Whether it be for my own self or training somebody or giving advice to somebody, the scale just tells you how much mass you have. But if most of that mass is muscle, I like that mass. That's great mass. Let's focus on that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, so let's shift it a little bit. We're gonna approach our hour here, and so we're gonna be closing out. But Erin, it's been a real pleasure having you on here. Now, I will have a closing question, and George may as well. So be prepared. You never know what he's going to ask. But we're gonna.
It's gonna be about pants.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. He's gonna be like, so, have you ever? No, that's
The
I'm
stretchy
right here.
jeans.
I'm right. Hey, look, all I'm saying is it needs to be at least 5% spandex now. I'm going to be 30. I'm going to be 31 next week. I got to be able to bend over.
Dude, show up in spandex next time you go to the gym. I just go.
Dude, no one wants to see that.
I'd pay to see a picture of that.
Jay, I bought my squat shorts when I was 15 pounds lighter. I can't wear my squat shorts anymore because the 3-inch inseam has turned into a 1-inch inseam, and I can't wear those anymore.
That's inappropriate in public.
It is inappropriate in public.
So that's funny. So okay, Erin, we talked about your journey. All right. We just got to say this. Sabrina would pay to see that. That is hilarious. I would too. That's the beautiful part about this, Mr. Metrosexual. George, what does that say? You pectoral is crime. Are you kidding me? All right, Zach. Pectoral is
That's
crime.
my boy right there. That's my boy.
If you're not watching this live and listening to the replay, there's a party happening right now, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I don't even know. I lost my question. George, you're going to have to take it home. I don't even remember what I was going to say. I lost it. I must.
So, okay, all right. This is the last one. He must be getting the lunk alarm at Planet Fitness with that inseam. All right, that's it. All right, we're good. So, dude, I
lost it.
We're done. Stick a fork in us. We're done. And we broke Erin. Erin broke. She's
yeah. Done.
No, your inseam is broke.
Yeah.
The squats must be working. That's all. Yeah. Slow eccentric, everybody. Slow eccentric.
That's beautiful.
All right. So,
all right. Focus, guys.
I was gonna say, seriously, this is our podcast. She's telling us to focus. Get your game together, man.
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously. We gotta edit this. Okay. So
no.
All right. I got it.
Okay,
so,
I'm ready.
All right. Ready? Breathe. Okay. So, Erin, as we walk into the next episode of your life, I know you said you're working on the pull-ups. I know you said you're working on that stuff. So, do you have any other goals in mind in the future? And how would you encourage someone else to create goals for themselves? That's a good closing question, along with what your goals are.
So my current goals are to keep building strength. Like I did have like an injury where I couldn't bench as much. So I want to get my bench up, just keep building strength, keep building pull-ups, lower body, and focus on my nutrition. Like I think as we all went through like the Christmas holiday season, we kind of all got off track, and like my goal is just to focus on macros and keeping all of that in line. And if I had to like recommend to anybody like looking to start their fitness like or goals or whatever, is just start with like a reasonable goal. Like if you like shoot for the stars, like you're not going to hit it all the time. Like if you hit a reasonable goal, every single day, and then just keep increasing upon that, I feel like it's more achievable to, really like um start your journey.
Mhm.
Like when I started, like it was like if I get a 45-minute workout, 10,000 steps a day, like that was like a reasonable thing. And like you just keep adding to it, but you can't just go at 100 right away.
Yeah. Like small goals to your bigger goal, right? Like just start
Right.
with
Yeah.
something, take a few steps. I used to have now 600 pounds down used to be called one step. So how that was developed is we started with, which is taking one step on something, right? And then you capitalize on that, you feel victorious, you
Hmm.
win it, you do it, and then you move on to the next thing. And those little steps equal that big goal eventually. Like
Hmm.
obviously the finish line's out there, but you have to take some steps to get there. So you kind of like hit the mile markers along the way. And that's how I would
Hmm.
see what you're saying, right? Have some goals. Let's come up with some things. Let's stay committed. Let's make a decision today. Start
Right.
somewhere. And then when you reach those things, you just keep progressing. You just keep going.
Yes, exactly.
I love
Hmm.
that. That's very good. Well, thank you. Thank you, Erin, for just coming on tonight, sharing your story. It's been a blessing. How can others find you? Can they follow you? What are some of your social
Yeah,
media
of
that they can
course.
find you?
So if you need a car, Midtown Motors.
That's right. In Warren.
Shout out
Yes,
to
Warren,
Midtown Motors.
PA. But I'm on Instagram, Marie Z, and I'm on Facebook, and I can send you guys my links. You can post them,
Put 'em
and
in
on
the
Snapchat. I'm not on TikTok, but
right. Is that going to change
can't.
sometime?
No, probably not.
Okay. All right.
I can
Okay.
only do so much.
Tell
I
me
get it.
about it.
I get it. I understand. Yes. All right.
But
Well, we'll put those
I
in the show notes.
appreciate you guys having me.
No,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on, and thanks for we made it. The train wreck at the end. It was fun. It's good to laugh.
Yeah.
It's good to laugh.
Very
We
good.
appreciate you being on and sharing your journey and your story. I look forward to the pull-ups tomorrow.
Yes, what
I'll,
time?
that's a great question.
Commitment. Commitment.
I'll definitely be there in the morning. I'll definitely be there in the morning, and I give you full permission to record it and post it on social media.
Send me
Perfect.
send me a pic. I need to see it. Yeah, please. Please wear the spandex.
It'll be a great time.
Yeah, exactly. Erin, thank you so much. Stick around. We're gonna close out here, and we would like to connect with you again before you leave.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Fantastic episode. Put a nail in it.
Oh man,
Amazing. Very good. Man,
that was
what are
awesome.
your closing thoughts? I thought it was spectacular. She shared some
You
really good
know,
things.
she shared a lot of really good stuff. I love the metrics that she shared. I think that needs to be talked about more. I think especially with people who are starting their journey to get out of the mindset of the scale. I think the scale is just a massive deterrent. Um, and I love that. I love the pull-ups, by the way. See, people don't understand this. Don't sleep on body weight exercises, guys.
Right.
Listen, body weight exercises are a great way to start. People are like, "Oh, but I can't go to the gym." I'm like, seriously, start with body weight exercise. That's how I started. The whole reason I was able to get into the gym is because I built up strength doing body weight exercises. So if you want to do that, that's an excellent way. And then the last thing that I love that she talked about mindset. The mindset, man, the more we do this, the more we talk to people, like you were talking about, Jay, in this app. You can give someone the perfect diet plan, you can give someone the perfect workout regimen, but it only works if they do it, and it has to start with the mind. And the mind, man, the mind's a tricky thing. It can be your best ally or your worst enemy. You know what I mean? It all depends on, are you able to have that community around you? Join the 600 pounds down community on Facebook too, if you'd like to do that. And just having this mindset of it's possible, I think is a game changer.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's good. Yeah, it's definitely a shift in the mind. And I do believe people need to have that more. And once you accomplish that, you're unstoppable. You really are. And the progression that happens and all sorts of things like that. So it is good. No, I love this. I'll go back, listen to it tomorrow. I love re-listening to the episodes that we have, because in the midst of it, we think of questions, we try to listen to them, but it flows so much sweeter when we get to listen to it all together when it's all finished. I'm inspired by our stories that come on here. And she's another story that I'm inspired by. So, by the way, please send me the pictures of the spandex tomorrow in the doing the pull-ups.
Look, no one said anything about spandex. Listen,
I'm just putting it out there.
I don't even know if I still have it.
Well, if you do, you got some things to do tonight. You got to look for them. So, all right, guys, if you are watching this podcast live right now, please share this with your friends on socials. Also, if you are checking us out, listening to the replay, you're finding us today and you're listening to it all the way through. Thank you so much for listening to it all the way through. But please leave us a review. Tell us, about how important it is to listen to it so other people are inspired. And of course, rate us George, what do we like? What do we want rated?
We like 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you.
George can count.
Not 4.9. Justin is still scarred by the 4.9 Spotify rating from 2024.
You don't have to bring it up. It's over. We're done. All right, guys. We'll see you next time on 600 Pounds Down
podcast.